Okay, everyone. Sometimes you're not quite sure what to do. Sometimes you think you've hit rock bottom. Sometimes you just don't have the right, I don't know, mindset. I talked a lot about mindset, or maybe you don't think you have the right skills, or things just aren't going your way and you don't know really what to do. Watch this video I did with Donnie Deutsch when I hit rock bottom.
I saw the inventor of Teddy Ruxpin making $1 million a month. I couldn't believe it. And I said, look, I'm going to start my own company. I think I can do a better job. My name is Stephen Key. I'm the president of Hot Picks. We have the largest selection of guitar picks in the world. They're in the shape of Mickey Mouse, skulls, vampires, monsters. We have a pick for everybody. We're in over 10,000 stores around the world. But before that, I had hit rock bottom. Zero.
All right, Steve, happy guy now, selling these guitar picks, making millions.
Very happy, extremely happy.
But we're going to start at a less happy place because tonight's show is all about, we're all going to get smacked. We're all going to, at some point, going to be down and out. It's how you come back from it. So take me to age 50, you're rocking and rolling, things are going good, and what happens?
I'm 50 years old. I've got a hit product. We're selling millions.
This is before the guitar. What were you selling
Before the guitar picks. It was a special label called Spinformation.
Okay.
It was on major national brands. The money was coming in so fast, my attorney said, we'll never count it all. Don't ever listen to that, ever. And I took my family on wild vacations. Royalties were coming in. Life was fantastic. And then one day, it stopped.
What happened?
Well, I'll tell you, the label was too expensive. I had to redesign it. I had every company calling me. I didn't take advantage of that opportunity, but it dried up. And I've got 3 kids. They're getting ready to go to college. My wife doesn't work. And one day, the royalties go to zero.
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 All of a sudden, you go from making a ton of money to, like, no income.
Wanting to just pull my hair out, wondering, what am I going to do now? I've got this office. I've got some great people. What are we going to do?
Well, take me to that moment when all of a sudden you kind of go, wait a second, this thing is dried up. I'm 50. I got to start over. I mean, how dark was that?
How do you start over when you're 50? I've never had a real job. I've always been creating things, and you have to start over. It was hard. My wife was very supportive. She says, you can do it. But it was tough.
All right, give me the darkest moment, darkest meal. I mean, how low was it?
Well, you know, it's hard because we didn't save a lot of money. We were thinking it was never going to end, so we put some money away, but not enough. And when you look in the future and you've got kids and you've got bills, it was tough. We had to stretch. We had to push. We didn't pay a lot of people for a while.
All right,
you know, and that's hard. It was hard for me, but I had to get back on the horse.
So what's the gut check moment? How do you get back on the horse? Because we're all going to be down. You had it at 50. So how do you get back on the horse? I had it at 50,
and it just took It took about a month of just relaxing, saying, all right, start over, take a clean sheet of paper and go, what am I going to do now? And just by chance, I saw an opportunity, and I took it. Because every once in a while, your gut says, I see it, I better take it, because they don't come around very often. You know, they just don't.
So what was this opportunity?
A friend of mine, Rob Stefani, I've known him for 35 years, came over to the office, said, what are you doing? He wasn't doing anything. He'd quit his job. 2 guys, unemployed, thinking, we've got to figure this out. He's got a family, kids. And he showed me a guitar pick. It's just a regular guitar pick. And he said, Steve, I've been in the music industry forever. No one's ever done anything with this. Can you bring some magic to the guitar pick? And I went down to the mall and looked at all the kids, what they were wearing, and said, look, I'm going to change the shape to a skull. He told me, Steve, don't do it. It's too radical, off the chart. Just don't do it. I did it anyway. Took it to a trade show, and it worked instantly. The crowds love it. The kids are like, this is the coolest thing. And I'm 50 years old. My kids are like, Dad, what are you doing with the heavy metal stuff? They didn't get it, but it worked.
What's genius about what you did, and now you've got this company, and you know you're doing 7 figures. You're selling in the millions, and it's everything. I got a Mickey Mouse one here. I've got all different shapes and sizes. You got. What you took was something that we could automatically always see as a generic. Okay, a guitar pick had looked like this forever.
That's right.
And that's
right.
And you just said, wait, why does it have to look that way? Why does it have to have that same shape?
Well, you know,
that's talking about an aha.
Well,
I mean,
it was, exactly. And what I realized, it was great that I didn't play guitar. So I had no boundaries.
That's the key. That was the key.
Yes, it was. In fact, my partner had been playing forever. He's a great rocker. He just loves music. And he was just like, Steve, you can't do that. I said, look, I'm going to do it. I'm going to break the mold. I'm just going to change everything and let's let it fly. And he was nervous. I was nervous. I was scared. And it's their lifestyle. We have a pick for everybody. We've got one in the shape of Mickey Mouse. We've got shapes of skulls, vampires.
If you really think about it, for an artist, a musician, this is the most personal thing they have.
Yes,
Yet there was nothing personal about
exactly.
it.
And that's,
I love this idea. I mean, it's such a. What I love about it is that we can go through life and not question everything like, okay, a Band-Aid is supposed to look like this or it always looks like that, until somebody says, no, we can have funny pictures of them, whatever. Now, if I was on tour with my buddy John Bon Jovi right now, would he be having one of these pics?
I hope so. Do you know him? I hope so.
Yeah, he's a delightful guy.
I'll send you some.
No, but my point is, do most musicians now use? No.
No,
well, we
they
got to
do
change
not.
that, man.
Well, I'm trying, but our audience is not really the player so much. We found that kids love to collect them. I'm selling them at Walmart. I'm putting them in like 7-Elevens. I could put them in gumball machines. Kids love them. We have over 150 designs. It's endless.
Okay, as a guy who at 50 had it, lost it, that was your down and out moment. You were down, they were counting you out. What's the keys that we tell folks out there? Because we're all going to have those moments. How do you come back?
You have to come back. You have to trust your gut. You've got to, you just got to reach down and go, look, I'm going to get back in the game and trust your gut. Take a risk. You have to sometimes. And do a little bit of research, but I don't do a lot. I just trust my instincts.
I love that. Stephen Kay, CEO of Hot Picks, Guitar Picks. We love it. A guy, they were counting him out. It was 7, 8, 9. He said, no, off the ropes. He's back big. More big ideas straight ahead.
Okay, you guys, I have to tell the story about when things weren't going so well, because I know a lot of you are out there thinking things aren't going well for me either. You're probably thinking, Steve, everything's been really rosy for you. That's not true, you guys. Like any entrepreneur, there's roadblocks, there's obstacles, there's things along the way. And I remember the day I got that email from the company I had licensed my spin label to, and they were paying me a lot of money. And they said, look, we're kind of done, and we want to go in a different direction. Thank you very much. So they were done with the contract. That meant they paid for the office, they paid for James, they paid for everything. And I was like, all right. So I went home, and I remember James was in the office when I got that email. He said, Steve, what are you going to do now? And I said, James, give me 24 hours. Let me come back. Let me think about this for a minute. And sometimes you just have to take a deep breath, even when things look terrible. Okay, you've got a great idea and you want to license it to a company, and you have spent a lot of time and money. Maybe you have a prototype. Maybe you file for intellectual property. But whatever you do, you want to make sure you do it right so you don't waste your time or your money. All right, but here's the deal. You've never done this before, and you don't have the confidence, and you know you don't have the relationships with these companies, but you do know that sometimes you only get one chance to do it right. We have a program called Gateway, where we have built relationships with over 1,300 companies looking for ideas. And we guarantee that we can pitch your idea to 10 companies to get a response. And if we don't, we'll give you your money back. At Gateway, we're going to handle your marketing material so it's clear and concise so companies can see the benefit of your idea. We will be there at Gateway, so if they have any questions, we're going to answer them correctly, which can lead to a licensing agreement. And if they want a licensing agreement, we're going to help negotiate it so it's fair and balanced on your behalf. So if you have a great idea and you want the pros to do it, please contact us at Gateway. So I went home and I talked to my wife about it, and I came back the next day and I said, all right, okay, the royalties stopped. They're not going to pay for the office. They're not going to pay for you, and they're definitely not paying me any more royalties. So, hey, we're going to do something else. And that mindset allowed me to be, I don't know, not down and out, but like, hey, I got to figure this out. So yes, I started knocking on doors. I started selling some advertisement that James did some great graphics. But at the end of the day, I started a business because a friend of mine, Rob Stefani, came over and said, Steve, we should do guitar picks. I'm thinking, are you crazy? Guitar picks? Why? Why guitar picks? I don't play guitar and I know nothing about the industry. But he said to me, he thinks there's an opportunity if we could have my creativity come up with really unique guitar picks. So I went ahead and started designing guitar picks. And I have to tell you that my first designs were terrible. We printed some, we took them to some of the music stores in town, and it just flopped. So I went back and I went back to the drawing board. I went to Hot Topic and I saw that kids were buying skulls. I thought, well, why not a skull guitar pick? I'm just going to change the shape into a skull. Why? You can still play with it. So sure enough, I did a little test with some graphics and some of the music stores, and I asked kids, which design do you like? And that's tip number one. What I've realized looking back, you have to really create a product that people want. So instead of spending all this money making guitar picks again, I just tested the designs, and sure enough, it came back. They loved the skull. Okay, so I actually got a green flag. I call it green flag. I got a test. The other thing I did, I partnered with Rob. You see, Rob was a musician. He had been in the music business. He had a couple stores. He kind of knew the lay of the land, right? Sometimes when you jump and do this new business, and if you don't have a partner that kind of knows a little bit, you're kind of like, you're swimming upstream. You're like, how am I going to figure this out? And I didn't want to do that. I knew enough that I needed to find a partner that knew a little bit about the industry. I didn't have the time to learn the industry. So I teamed up with Rob, and we actually brought a couple more guys on, a couple friends, and said, hey, we got this idea. Do you want to join us? And they said yes. And the reason why we asked some others to join us, because we needed a little capital. There's no way you can do this with no money. All right, so there was 4 of us now. We all pitched in a little bit of money, not a lot. I think it was like 10 grand each. We threw the money in, and now we started a little business called Hot Picks. And sure enough, we made those first designs, skulls, and we made some other designs using the same shape but different graphics, so we could kind of have some vampires and some other monsters to go with it. And I thought, we need to test it to see if the stores are going to want it. Because at the end of the day, I didn't want to spend all this energy and money on something that people just did not want. So I did another test. I went to a trade show. Now, I didn't buy a booth. I didn't walk the show like I always tell you guys to do if you're trying to license an idea. I found someone that had a booth, and he had a 10 by 10, and I asked him if I could have just a little corner of his booth. He said yes, and he charged me, I don't know, a couple $1,000, like nothing. It was easy. So I went down to the show and had a big banner with a skull on it, and had my guitar picks there. And I just threw them down on the table and just said, let's see what happens. Well, what happened was people started grabbing them, and they were free. I said, free, as many as you want. They're free. And people started grabbing them. And before you know it, we were like 10 deep into people trying to get to the table to grab the free guitar picks. I knew right there I had a hit on my hands. You guys, it was really simple. I was able to test it. I knew people wanted it. Stores were coming up to me. Even BC Rich Guitars said, hey, I love this guitar pick. I want to put it in all of our cases that we sell these heavy metal guitars. Heavy metal people were coming up, giving us this, all these different weird hand size. I don't know what was going on because I'm 50 years old. But what I realized at the end of the day, sometimes you have to do this. You have to change your mindset. So yes, was it hard for me to switch and do something else? Yes, it was. Did I give up and not do anything? No. Did I find something I didn't really know anything about? Yes, but I knew I had a partner here. And he had an idea. We kind of teamed up. We brought a team together, and we took these necessary steps. So long story short, okay, so it worked. We ended up being in 10,000 stores, Walmart, 7-Eleven. We made guitar picks for Taylor Swift even. We won the best of show at the largest music show in the United States with a piece of plastic because we used our creativity. You can do this. But once again, it all comes down to your mindset. And that's why this new book, The Power Mindsets, there's 9 things you need to do to have the right mindset that you can do anything. Because I'll tell you, you're going to have obstacles. You're going to think you're down and out. You're going to think that you can't do it. You're going to think about all these things, but you can do it. I can give you the roadmap. You guys, I've done it a lot. I've done venturing, I've done licensing, I've done them both. I can give you the roadmap. It's not that hard. But at the end of the day, I cannot give you the right mindset. That's you. You have to come up with the right attitude to overcome the obstacles, build the right team, do the right testing, file any protection that you need, whatever you need to do to keep going down that road and testing that idea. Because at the end of the day, yes, you need a roadmap. Yes, you need a good product. And number three, you need the right mindset. So, hey, this is Stephen Key. Thank you for letting me share that video back in the day. And thank you for letting me share that story about creating guitar picks, because it was a wonderful time. I enjoyed it. But at the end of the day, I sold the business. Why? I wanted to be creative. I didn't want to run a business. It was going great. I kind of wanted to come up with new designs, but at the end of the day, we had employees shipping to Walmart. It became more of running a company, which is a lot of work, a lot of the work I did not want to do. So anyway, thanks for watching. This is Stephen Key. I will see you next time.